Welcome to what 1,000 calories looks like. Now, I have 5 different types of food or edible things in front of me. Each is 1,000 calories. Now, you can tell before I go through them how mind-blowing this really is if we compare the left to the right. And I'm going to go through them individually as I sup this 0-calorie black coffee. Now, calories are an issue for most people in the world. This is why we have a obesity epidemic, which is why this is why we have a lot of fat, overweight, very unhealthy, unfit, and mentally unwell people as well at the same time, because calories are an issue. Calories and chemicals matter. 1,000 calories. What is 1,000 calories? For some people, that could be the whole day's intake worth of actual calories, whether that be liquid or solid calories. Some people are on much higher than that. Some people are on slightly lower. But for most people, 1,500 to 2,500 calories, between those range will be everybody's kind of average calorie intake. Because the reason why people don't lose weight is because they haven't got their calorie balance right. They consume too many calories for the amount that they move. Now, if we put this into perspective, this right here, 120 milliliters of olive oil, which would you're talking maybe 8 tablespoons, 1,000 calories. Look at the small quantity. So I could sup that in one slurp and have 1,000 calories like that. Frightening, eh? If we move on to this chocolate bar, nice fruit and nut from Aldi, their own brand, there's 1,000 calories in this bar. Now, I know some of you could eat this bar on your own, in one go, watching a film on Netflix, or split it between 2 people, 500 calories each, easy. This is coconut milk that you cook with. 2 of these tins would equal 1,000 calories. Now, yes, you wouldn't drink 2 of these tins, but you may cook your food in this. Now, I'm not saying avoid this or it's bad. I'm just giving you an example of the quantity of this in 1,000 calories is higher than the quantity of that. The quantity of this chocolate is higher than the quantity of that. However, they are still the same amount of calories. Moving on, 12 slices of this particular bread from Aldi, which is just regular white sliced bread, nothing fancy. 12 slices of bread, 1,000 calories. Now, I know people who could easily consume half of this very quickly. Some of you might even be able to consume all of this in one day, just like that. Toasted, sandwiches, whatever. Now, this is 1,000 calories of Brussels sprouts. Now, look at the vast quantity difference of the amount of Brussels sprouts. I don't know if there's anybody alive that could consume all them sprouts in one go, or even just in the course of a day. If they did, they'd probably be very ill, because that's a hell of a lot of fiber and a hell of a lot of greens. Now, obviously, you would never eat that quantity of sprouts, maybe even in a week or 2 weeks, let alone. But it just gives you an idea visually of why it's so important, if you're trying to look after yourself, and especially if you're trying to lose weight, to fill your diet with more green vegetables. Because what you can do is you will be fuller for longer, because you'll have more fiber from the greens and the vegetables. But the amount of, let's say this would be maybe an average portion, a little bit more than that, maybe 1-2 handfuls of sprouts would be an average portion, right? Just think about how much that would fill out your meals, and how much more you could actually eat quantity wise, not of calories, but of actual food, if you packed your meals with more vegetables. When you do that, not only do you increase the nutritional value of your meals, but you increase the fiber, etc., but you decrease the calories, because you can't overeat this. But guess what you can do with this? You toast one bit of bread, what do you want to do? Get the next bit of bread. What do you want to do with the butter to mop up the gravy? The next bit of bread. You can eat this. You could eat all this, right? But you couldn't eat all this. Different nutritional values, but looking in the insanity of it. 1,000 calories each, right? Now, obviously, all of these things have a place in our life in some point. But what the majority of your diet should be made up of is single ingredient foods. The only three single ingredient foods here are the sprouts, which are just sprouts, the oil, which is just olive oil. And again, you shouldn't avoid this. You should be very aware that you want it in small quantities. And you don't know when you're cooking, if you're just splashing loads of oil in the pan, or if you're going out to eat and the chef's just doing this with 3 or 4 tablespoons, you've got an extra 600 calories on your meal and you don't even know. This is why people end up getting fat, because they don't know how many calories they're consuming. And this, I would say as well, is kind of a single ingredient. Yes, it's got some stabilizers in to keep it sort of fresh, but it's more or less just coconut milk. So this is another good thing that you could be cooking in occasionally. But bread and chocolate, we know, are very highly processed foods that maybe we should be looking to reduce as time goes on. But this gives a great visual representation, an accurate representation of what 1,000 calories actually looks like. And it's amazing when you put it into context to think, holy shit, that's just this bar of chocolate. So I have half this bar of chocolate, which I could easily munch half of this in 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, easily, right? If I had to eat the whole thing, I probably wouldn't, but if I had to, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. If you had to eat all of this, 20 minutes, half an hour, you're probably agreeing with us here. Now, oil is not something that you generally eat. You would cook with it, but it's just to give you an example. Now, how long would it take you to eat all these? Holy fucking shit, you just couldn't. You couldn't eat all of them. Hours and hours and hours, and you'd be sick. Obviously, you wouldn't eat this quantity, but it just goes to show you need to be packing your food out with more vegetables. Why are you not? It makes more sense, because ultimately you'll consume less calories in the long run, you'll increase the nutritional value of your daily intake of food, and you'll just feel better. So I hope this video has been useful. If it has, drop a comment, drop a like, drop a share, whatever you need to do in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. If you'd like to learn how to create outstanding levels of energy, motivation, and self-control, my second book, Supercharged, the modern day guide to doing exactly that, is out now.